This is Eric Michael Lloyd, continuing to read the Self-Care Prescription, Manage Stress, Reduce Anxiety, Powerful Solutions to Manage Stress and Reduce Anxiety and Increase Well-Being by Robyn Gobin, PhD. Where I left off. And so, when someone asks how we're doing, we might find ourselves replying like my coworker, I'm okay, just making it. But here's the thing. I want more for you than just okay. I want you to feel confident, energized, motivated, and empowered. I want you to play an active role in determining the direction your life is headed. That's why I decided to write this book, to remind you, and all of us, that we can choose. You can begin again anytime you want to and forge a new life path. You can take the wheel and change the course of your life. Yes, things will be hard sometimes, but in the midst of it all, I never want you to forget about yourself and your needs. Taking care of you is the best thing you can do for your job, your family, your friends. Self-care is essential, not just for feeling good, but also for functioning well in everyday life. I want to make it clear from the beginning that self-care is not just about feeling good. Sure, much of what you do for self-care will bring you pleasure, but this will not always be the case. Simply put, self-care is not always fun or relaxing, and you won't always feel like doing it. Sometimes self-care involves forgiving yourself for past mistakes, setting boundaries in relationships, making that medical or dental appointment you've been putting off, saying no to a fun night out because you're sleep deprived, or choosing to walk away from a job or a relationship you have outgrown. Self-care is about making yourself a priority, whatever your life circumstances. Self-care is fundamentally about bringing balance back to a life that has grown imbalanced from too many commitments or responsibilities. How do you do self-care? A popular idea of self-care, often shown in magazines, blogs, and TV news segments, typically include ice cream, bubble baths, massages, or pedicures. While these kinds of me time, treat yourself strategies can play a role in a self-care routine, real self-care is a much more substantive, holistic endeavor, touching every aspect of a person's life. So, truly taking care of your own needs requires not just scheduling fun activities now and then, but also doing some self-reflection and seeing how things stand in your life, where you most want or need to make change, and how best to bring those changes about. Self-care is about taking a serious look in the mirror and making changes that will give your life more balance, meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. Let's say, for example, you've been battling chronic pain, anxiety, or depression silently for months, but you have not noticed any significant improvement. Self-care in this situation might involve being honest with yourself about your pain and your difficulty managing it on your own, and then taking the vulnerable step of reaching out to a doctor or therapist for help. This can be hard because so many of us have brought into the idea, uh, have bought into the idea that we are somehow weak if we are unable to solve problems on our own. Nothing could be further from the truth. In a society that glorifies self-reliance, it takes a lot of strength to ask for help when you need it. This process of learning to truly care for yourself might not always be pleasurable, and you may encounter some mental roadblocks that you need to overcome, but it is self-care nonetheless. What this book offers, I tell you what I tell my clients. I'm not a miracle worker. Neither is this book. I wish I had a magic wand that could take away all of your emotional pain and fix all the problems you are facing this very moment, but simply that isn't possible. But that simply isn't possible. I don't have all the answers, but what I do have is knowledge and a proven set of skill building strategies that I believe will help you create the life you desire, brick by brick. I'll be right there alongside you as you put in the effort and hard work to bring about the changes you most want to see in your life. It will require openness on your part. If you stick with me and implement the tips and techniques I suggest here, I'm confident that you'll walk away from this experience equipped with the tools you need to continue along your self-care journey, more clear-headed and empowered than when you began. This book is structured around the 6 essential dimensions of wellness as defined by the National Wellness Institute: the physical, spiritual, emotional, intellectual, vocational, and social domains. Self-care is about more than looking and feeling good. It involves nurturing every aspect of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. I like to think of the dimensions of wellness like a car. Each part of a car plays a vital role in the overall functioning of the vehicle. If any part of the car is broken or malfunctioning, for example, the brakes wear out, the car becomes unstable, it cannot function the way it was intended to. Sure, you can continue to drive your car when your brakes need work, but eventually you'll ruin the risk of serious damage to yourself and your car. Like a car in need of work, we can get by and still function while only attending to some dimensions of wellness. But that choice comes with downsides. To ensure that we keep running smoothly, we need periodic tune-ups, and we'd be wise not to ignore warning signals and that an area of our life needs attention. Just like we wouldn't purchase a brand new car and drive it around for years without ever taking it for a routine oil change and maintenance, our bodies, minds, and spirits require the same level of upkeep. Let's quickly review what each dimension of wellness entails: physical, social, intellectual, vocational, spiritual, and emotional. So I left off, what works for you, finding what works for you. By now, you've probably got the idea. This book covers a lot because every self-care domain plays a critical role in achieving the balance you need. You'll benefit from working on all 6 domains. However, if you came to this book with a particular problem in mind, say feeling stuck in your professional life, feel free to go directly to Chapter 5, which focuses on vocational self-care, and begin there. But don't shortchange yourself. Plan to work on all the chapters eventually, because all the skills and exercises in this book build on and reinforce one another. Every recommendation will work the same way for everyone. This book is jam-packed with powerful exercises, tools, and techniques so that whatever your circumstances, you can find something that works for you. I recommend that you try everything at least once. Once you've done that, feel free to take the techniques that are a good fit for you and leave behind the things that were less useful. This is all about upgrading your life in a way that is manageable and sustainable in the long run. Let's get started. My sincere hope is that you will walk away from this book with skills that equip you to prioritize your health and happiness despite the challenges and complexities that life throws your way. Bottom line, I want to help you live your best life. This book offers proven effective techniques to help you integrate self-care strategies into your life. But as author John C. Maxwell said, dreams don't work unless you do. I believe you have the potential to create a life where you not only look good, but also feel good. Many of us have perfected the art of looking good. We have become pros at wearing the "I'm okay" mask. Our outsides are dressed up nicely, stylish clothes, pretty smiles, positive attitudes, but inside, things aren't so pretty. We've stopped enjoying life, we crave deeper connection, and we've lost ourselves in the process of taking care of everyone else. This is your invitation to put you first. It's time to stop waiting for someday. Learn how to take better care of yourself today. It is possible to be an incredible partner, parent, friend, and or family member, and still take care of yourself. I will show you how. Some of the strategies may be familiar to you, and others may feel new and different. When you hear something that is familiar or tried and true for you, challenge yourself to look at that skill with new eyes. There are 3 things you'll need to get the most out of this book: an open mind, a pen, and a notebook. As you move through this book, I encourage you to use the notebook for journaling, list making, and planning how you will implement various recommendations. Commit to setting aside as much time, daily or weekly, as you can to read this book and practice the strategies within. Part of what this book will teach you is how to carve out time for yourself. So it's okay to start small. You can't make over your life. You can't make over your life overnight. Just start. Here's my goal for you. By the time you reach the end of this book, you'll be experiencing so many benefits from taking care of yourself that you'll want to maximize self-care time in your schedule. Are you ready to start? Let's go. I'll be rooting for you. Chapter 2. Friends, family, and fun. Social self-care. Start with social self-care if you want to. Improve the quality of your relationships. Revive your social life. Spend free time engaged with people and in activities that energize and recharge you. Find more time for recreation and play. Engage in hobbies that are fun, fulfilling, and improve your overall health. Your social needs. We're hardwired for social connection. From the time we exit the womb, we are motivated to communicate and form relationships with others. Due to our limited physical abilities at birth, as infants, we come into the world equipped with sophisticated social intelligence that allows us to communicate, understand social cues, and shape our behavior in ways that maximize the chances that we'll get our basic needs for food, clothing, belonging, and shelter met. When we mature and gain independence, our need for social connection can take a back seat to other domains of adult life. Our days become filled with work, bills, and family responsibilities. We find less and less time for social self-care. Social self-care can be defined as nurturing your need for connection with other people. It involves taking care of existing relationships and friendships, creating new connections, and establishing boundaries in relationships with others so that those connections stay healthy. Social self-care is important because it fosters belongingness and connectedness. Belongingness is an innate human need to be an accepted member of a group, for example, family, friends, and coworkers, and or organized group activities such as teams, sports, classes, or trivia nights, or to be part of something bigger than yourself, for example, volunteering, charitable contributions or activities, and humanitarian efforts. Social connectedness is our experience of how close we are to other people. Research has found that social connections are good for our mental health. On the other hand, a lack of social connection is associated with poorer health, greater stress, feelings of loneliness, depression, anxiety, and guilt. Social self-care through frequent contact with friends, family activities, hobbies, and organized group activities increases the chances we will be happy, healthy, and well-adjusted. What do you want from your social life? An important place to start improving your social self-care is to create a vision for yourself. This is a one-sentence statement of what you want your social life to be like. Once you're clear on that, you can begin taking positive steps in that direction. Your social self-care vision should make you feel excited about leveling up your social life. In creating your vision, also consider why you want your social life to change in those ways. Ask yourself, why is it important to me to be social? What do I gain from making time for social self-care? Identifying personal reasons why social self-care is important in your life can motivate you to make it more of a priority, even when other commitments seem more pressing. There are some questions to guide you in creating a personal social self-care vision and discovering your why. Get out of your notebook, and as you're answering the questions, challenge yourself to go beyond simply thinking about this as an intellectual exercise. Give yourself permission to get creative. Engage all your senses. Create a vivid, detailed mental image of what your future social self-care looks like. Who and what do you see? What do you taste? What smells are present? What emotions do you feel? Making social self-care a reality. What kind of friend would you like to be? How do you want to feel when you are with your friends? What would you need to do differently to feel the way you want to feel? What kind of romantic partner would you like to be? How do you want to feel when you are with your romantic partner? What would you need to do differently to feel the way you want to feel? What kind of employer or employee would you like to be? How do you want to feel when you're working with others? What would you need to do differently to feel the way you want to feel? What kind of family member, parent, grandparent, child, sibling, cousin, aunt, or uncle, etc., would you like to be? How do you want to feel when you are with your family members? What would you need to do differently to feel the way you want to feel? When was the last time you felt engaged, excited, safe, and supported in your social life? What were you doing? Who were you with? Okay. Describe your ideal social life. What kind of people do you want to be spending time with? How do you want to feel when you are living your ideal social life? What would you be doing differently to feel the way you want to feel? If you had free time where you were feeling rested and energized, what types of activities would you like to engage in with others? Why? How do you want to feel during your free time? What would you need to do differently to feel the way you want to feel? What types of group related hobbies do you have? How do those hobbies make you feel when you're participating in them? What new hobbies, if any, are you interested in exploring in a group setting? How do you want to feel when you're participating in hobbies? What do you need to do differently to feel the way you want to feel? Your social self care vision. In your notebook, try your hand at crafting your own social self care vision. It doesn't have to be long, just a sentence or two. Here's an example. I'm shaping relationships in which deep connection is plentiful, love and respect is mutual, and contact is pleasant and consistent. Your social self care, why? Complete this sentence. Social self care is important to me because, dot, 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 because it's good for healthy, loving, and happy relationships. Engage. Now that you have started to develop a personal vision for social self care, it's time to make your vision a reality. In our busy lives, we have legitimate obligations like family, work, and chores that can take up a good portion of the day and leave us feeling like we don't have time for socializing. However, it can also be that you aren't prioritizing your social life because you feel wary of re engaging socially. For example, if you've experienced a painful breakup, it's normal to be skeptical about starting a new relationship. The same thing goes for friends and family. When you've been hurt in past relationships, it's normal to want to avoid getting close to people so that you don't get hurt again. Once we've put our social lives on the back burner, it can become the new normal for us. Even though we desire social connection, we feel more comfortable being alone because it feels safer. We might find ourselves getting comfortable with infrequent or inconsistent social contact. So, how do we begin to create a habit of social self care that will last? Where to start? Create a social self care plan. Spend some time getting clear on what you do, what you like to do, and who who you would like to do that activity with. Grab your notebook and take the following steps. List your favorite things to do. Circle one activity you'd like to pursue in the next month. List the people with whom you would like to engage in that activity. Looking at this month's calendar, select 2 or 3 dates and times you would be willing to set aside for this activity. Reach out to the people on your list. You may choose to reach out by text, email, social media, messenger, or with a phone call. Share the potential activity and dates and times that work for your schedule and ask if they might be interested and available to join you. Once they respond, Determine what is needed to set the activities up for success. For example, if you are having dinner, are reservations needed? If yes, go ahead and make those reservations. Troubleshoot challenges and barriers. If you do not receive a response after a day or so, try not to take it personally. Just like you have obligations that kept you away from engaging socially, so do your family, friends, partners, and acquaintances. Extend them some grace. Try a different method of contact. Be flexible. If none of the people you reached out are available on your desired dates and times, consider alternate dates or inviting different people. If that does not work, or the people you intended to spend time with have to cancel plans, consider engaging in the activity alone. You never know who you might meet when you're willing to show up. If you had difficulty with step 1 or 2, reread your responses to the questions and prompts in What Do You Want from Your Social Life? See page 12 to guide you in creating this plan. Which listed activities or people excite you the most? Use these as a starting point, and later, when you're ready, try some of the activities you listed and invite some different people to join you. Try something new. Think creatively. Sometimes your social self-care can benefit from trying something you've never done before. It's a great way to make lasting memories and potentially create new social connections. The following questions and suggestions can get your creative juices flowing. What new activity, food, or venue have you been wanting to visit or try that you just haven't had time for? When you feel most adventurous and willing to try something new, particular days of the week, times of the day, after checking a major task off your to-do list. Ask a close friend, family member, or coworker what they enjoy doing in their free time. If it sounds interesting, consider trying their favorite activity on for size. Visit your local city's events page and browse local upcoming events. Take note of what stands out to you. Search your city on meetup.com or a similar internet service to find new activities that interest you and meet people who share similar interests. Making time. Prioritize social plans. Two of the most common excuses I hear and have used myself when trying to make space for socializing is I don't have time and I don't have the energy. The truth is we do have time and energy for the things that matter most to us. It's a matter of making social self-care a priority, just like you prioritize work, school, or parenting. One of the best strategies for making time to socialize is schedule it on your calendar. The key here is to choose a social activity you really enjoy. Plan to do it with people you genuinely like to spend time with, and select a time when you're likely to have the energy and minimal distractions. Whether you use an electronic calendar or a physical one, block out time in your schedule and then guard this time just as you would a job obligation or an important medical appointment. At the same time, remember to be flexible. If something comes up that you absolutely cannot avoid, for instance, you get the flu or there's a family emergency, accept the reality of the situation and be sure to reschedule your social plans so that you get in the habit of making this time a priority. Play. Play for adults has gotten a bad rap in our society. When we think of playing, we imagine toys, sandboxes, and swing sets, in other words, childish things that don't play a role in adult life. Play and recreation are typically regarded as activities solely for young children, but this is a very limited concept of play. Play and recreation involve complete immersion in voluntary activities for the sole purpose of simply enjoying yourself. Sounds radical, I know. Play can include a wide variety of activities ranging from sports and vigorous exercise to dancing or playing a board game with friends. Just as play is healthy and stimulating for children, play has been found to have health benefits for adults, including reduced levels of stress and anxiety, enhanced creativity and innovation, better sleep, greater feelings of relaxation, improved heart and lung functioning, and lower risk for ailments like cancer and diabetes. So how do we build healthy recreation into our busy lives? The good news is The possibilities are nearly endless when it comes to the type of recreation you can choose. Below are some of the ideas how you might incorporate more play into your life. As you read through these suggestions, jot down some of the ideas for implementing them in your notebook. Incorporate recreation into your daily routine. Recreation in daily life can take the form of listening to music, learning a new language, solving puzzles, exercising, swimming, hiking, and setting aside time to take a walk or play with your pet, partner, or children. List some ways you can incorporate recreation into your daily routine. Play with a group. You can play a board game, video game, or team-based card game. Play along with others while you watch a TV game show, watch funny videos together, or enjoy a challenge of an escape room with a group of family or friends. Escape room themed adventure games in which players escape rooms are themed adventure games in which players are given a set amount of time to work as a team to solve puzzles, riddles, and secret codes. List some of your favorite games in these categories that you'd like to try with family or friends. Incorporate play at work. Ideas for play at work include taking a lunchtime walk with colleagues, sharing a fun story or pictures from your family's latest adventure, or chatting with a coworker about a shared interest. Many companies have team building activities that involve play. For example, one of my previous employers had quarterly team building days where we would all take the afternoon off from work and do fun things like playing laser tag or simply getting to know each other on a deeper level over a leisurely meal. Periodically, my husband and his colleagues create fun games and prizes to reward members of their sales teams for achieving a high sales value. Whatever you choose, the goals of the activity should be to have fun, communicate, and get creative and build deep, more meaningful connections. Unwind. Adult life is stressful, whether or not we know it. We could all stand to decompress from the pressure we feel all day. We function better and are easier to be around when we take time to unwind. Social self-care is most effective when you're attuned to our needs, feelings, thoughts, and desires. This kind of attunement requires us to pause and pay attention to what we're experiencing in the moment. In our fast-paced society, where we constantly are bombarded with people, things, and the environmental demands that are all equally vying for our time and attention, it can be a revolutionary act to intentionally pause and allow our own needs to raise to the top of the list. When we take the time to unwind, we are more available and open to spending time with other people. Mindfulness is one way to unwind from the stress of adulting. Mindfulness involves slowing down and purposefully paying attention to our moment-to-moment experience in a particular way. When we're being mindful, we allow thoughts, feelings, and body sensations to just be the way they are, without trying to change them or wishing they were different. When we are attuned to our moment-to-moment experience, we come to know ourselves more intimately, and we notice that our thoughts, feelings, and sensations are constantly shifting and changing. Because judgments and labels of our experience as good or bad can result in unnecessary pain and suffering, mindfulness invites us to release them. Why might mindfulness practice be beneficial for unwinding? Practicing mindfulness techniques such as breath awareness meditation activates the body system and calms and relaxes us. It allows us to be more aware of what is actually happening in the here and now. When we are calm and present, we are much better able to listen to what we need and want as it relates to social self-care, and we're poised to make choices that align with our social self-care vision. The following exercises will guide you in practicing mindfulness as a way to unwind and relax. Exercise. 5-minute breathing space. 5 minutes total. This short breathing exercise can easily be incorporated into your day. It is designed to help you unwind and ground you in the present moment. Paying attention to your breath, you can help your body relax. Note that the recommended times here are approximate, but set a timer for the full 5 minutes before you begin so you can take full advantage of your relaxation time. Sit in a chair with a straight back and relaxed posture. Allow your hands to rest softly on your lap. Allow your body to be fully supported by the chair, releasing any tension and letting your leg and thigh muscles relax with your feet pressed onto the floor. Close your eyes or lower your eyelids halfway and focus your vision on a single spot 5 feet in front of you. This step helps relax your mind, reduce distractions, and focus your attention on your internal experience. 3. For the next minute and a half, take note of your internal experience. What sounds do you hear? What bodily sensations are making themselves known? What emotions are present? What thoughts are in your mind? Make space for whatever you notice, regardless of whether it is pleasurable, uncomfortable, or middle of the road. Mindfulness invites you to accept your experience as it is without trying to change it or wishing it were different. You are not looking for anything in particular. Simply notice and observe your experience as it unfolds moment to moment with gentleness, with curiosity, without judgment. For the next 2 minutes, shift your focus to the physical sensations of breathing. One way to locate the physical sensations of your body as you breathe is to pay attention to the rise and fall of your belly. As you breathe in, notice how your belly expands. And as you breathe out, notice how your belly contracts. You may find it easiest to make contact with the physical sensations of breathing in your nostrils or chest. Allow your attention to rest wherever in your body it's easiest for you to feel the sensations. Challenge yourself to pay attention to the inhalation in its entirety. Be present with it until it transitions into exhalation. Then pay attention to the whole exhalation until it turns into inhalation. Don't try to change or modify the pattern of your breathing. Simply observe the breath with gentleness and curiosity. Allow it to ground you in the here and now. Breathe in, breathe out. Be present with each breath from moment to moment as best you can. For the remaining minute and a half, expand your attention from the breath and become aware of your entire body as a whole. Notice the body sitting here, breathing from head to toe. Pay attention to physical sensations that are present on the outer surface of the body at the skin, as well as those sensations arising from inside the body. Notice sensations that are pleasurable. Also notice any discomfort or tension that is present, as well as those sensations that are neutral, neither pleasurable nor uncomfortable. Gently explore all sensations with openness and curiosity. Take in all sensations as they are. Conclude the exercise and open your eyes. Because this exercise takes only a few minutes, you can do it several times throughout the day to bring yourself a sense of peace and calmness. This 5-minute break may be just what you need to appreciate more fully the time you spend with others. Exercise. Progressive muscle relaxation, 15 minutes total. It's hard to unwind when you're walking around feeling tense. Oftentimes, we unknowingly hold tension and stress in our muscles. This progressive muscle relaxation exercise is designed to help you learn the difference between a tensed and a relaxed muscle. It would also teach you how to relax your muscles. Starting at your toes, this exercise invites you to gradually work your way up the body, tightening and then relaxing each major muscle group. You will tighten each muscle group for about 15 seconds, then release the contraction and focus the sensation of each relaxed muscle for 15 seconds. Take time to notice the changes you feel when a muscle group is relaxed versus when it's tense. Progressive muscle relaxation is best performed seated or lying down on a flat surface in a quiet, distraction-free place. You may want to practice progressive muscle relaxation as often as you like to support relaxation. Be careful when tensing your muscles. If you feel intense pain while completing this exercise, you may be tensing too hard. It is best to gently tense your muscles. Consult your physician if you have any medical conditions that might hinder your physical activity. Use the following script to guide yourself through this exercise. Feet. Curl your toes, hold, then relax. Calves. Squeeze your calves muscles by flexing your toes upward towards your shins. Hold, then relax. Thighs. Squeeze your thigh muscles. Hold, then relax. Buttocks. Clench your buttocks. Hold, then relax. Stomach. Suck in your stomach. Hold, then relax. Chest. Breathe in deeply. Hold, then relax. Back. Arch your back. Hold, then relax. Arms. Make fists and tighten your biceps by bending your arm at the elbow and bringing your forearm up towards your shoulder. Hold, then relax. Make fists. Hold, then relax. Neck and shoulders. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Hold, then relax. Mouth. Clench your teeth together, noticing the strain on your jaw. Hold, then relax. Eyes. Close your eyes tightly. Hold, then relax. Forehead. Raise your eyebrows as high as you can. Hold, then relax. You might find it helpful to listen to an audio recording of someone guiding you through the steps of progressive muscle relaxation. This allows you to focus fully on the physical sensations of tensing and relaxing your muscles. There are many free audio recordings available on YouTube and smartphone apps. One progressive muscle relaxation audio recording I recommend it is from Dartmouth Student Wellness Center website, see page 137. Again, if you have any pre-existing medical conditions that could be worsening by tensing your muscles for your health and comfort, I recommend consulting with your medical doctor before engaging in this exercise. Reward yourself. Building new habits isn't easy. It takes time and consistency to see benefits. To keep yourself motivated, reward yourself along the way to building your new habit. Just as you might reward your dog for pottying outside as opposed to on the carpet, you can treat yourself to something special after engaging in a particular social self-care activity, which will motivate you to continue prioritizing social self-care. Here are some ways you might choose to treat yourself for following through on your plans. Buy yourself a new gadget, book, or clothing item. Watch your favorite movie. Take a relaxing bath. Go for a massage. Listen to music you enjoy. Nurture. As we grow older and our responsibilities increase, we spend less time on our friendships. Similarly, romantic relationships can become less of a priority when the honeymoon phase is over and we get busy with work and or children. In the same way, our family relationships can grow distant if we're not intentional about nurturing those bonds. To stay healthy and connected, our relationships need ongoing attention and care. This relationship maintenance involves spending quality time together, doing fun shared activities, and expressing gratitude for actions and qualities we appreciate. Studies show that supportive, healthy relationships provide positive health benefits and can serve as a buffer against stress and mental health challenges. Given the importance of relationships to overall health and wellness, it is important to understand the qualities of a healthy relationship. Take a look. Identify the qualities of healthy relationships. How do you know whether your relationships are healthy or unhealthy? Use the following checklist to examine the health and quality of your current relationships. In your notebook, answer yes or no for each relationship you are examining. Each yes answer signals an aspect that is beneficial to the health of the relationship. You enjoy open and clear communication. You communicate frequently. You both feel loved and respected even during disagreements. You support each other. You have the ability to solve disagreements in a manner that is respectful and pleasing to both of you. You feel physically safe with each other. You feel comfortable being your authentic selves around each other. You are both comfortable expressing your honest opinions and feelings around each other. You are comfortable making requests of each other. You are both comfortable saying no or expressing an opposing opinion. You each make voluntary sacrifices for the good of the relationship. There is an absence of physical violence, hitting, beating, choking, burning, pinching, slapping, punching, grabbing, biting, pushing, shoving, or otherwise causing harm to you or your family, pets, children, or belongings. There is an absence of sexual abuse or coercion, fondling or unwanted sexual touching, insisting on sex despite victims' objections, penetrating the victim's body against their will, attempted rape, coercion. There is an absence of emotional abuse, verbal insults, name calling, manipulation, threats, swearing, and yelling. There is an absence of criticism or mistreatment on the basis of gender, ethnicity, religious beliefs, political beliefs, sexual orientation, ability status, nation of origin, or other personal attributes. There is an absence of prior betrayal or infidelity. You take an interest in each other's lives. You have interests and friends outside of the relationship. You encourage interests and friendships outside of the relationship. You consistently spend time together. In your notebook, reflect on what you learned about the health of your relationships with family, friends, and partners. Revisit your social self-care vision. What aspects of your relationship do you focus on improving? What do your responses tell you about the extent to which your needs are currently being met in your relationships? Revitalize old relationships. Back when I was a Girl Scout, we used to sing a song that went, "Make new friends but keep the old. One is silver and the other is gold." Sometimes our gold relationships need to be revitalized. They can get lost in the shuffle of daily life or taken for granted. What you can do to strengthen those long-standing golden relationships. What can you do to strengthen those long-standing golden relationships? Grab your notebook and take the following steps. Identify one relationship to work toward reviving. Why do you want to reconnect with this person in particular? Consider whether this relationship aligns with your social self-care vision. Is this a person you feel good around? Do they value you, your time, and your perspective? What led you to neglect this relationship? If betrayal, violence, or harm was the cause of the relationship going stale, consider whether it is in your best interest to reestablish this relationship. If you decide that rekindling this relationship is in your mutual best interest, reach out to that person. Don't take it personally if you don't get a response right away. Check in after a few days have passed if they do not respond. Be flexible and open to a variety of responses. Some people may be willing to pick up where you left off. Others may not be interested in reconnecting at all. Still, others may be slow to warm up to you, particularly if the relationship lag was due in part to your neglect. Be willing to take responsibility for your role in the current status of the relationship. Be open to hearing their perspective and demonstrate respect to for their feelings. 5. Follow through and be patient. Rebuilding an old relationship can be risky for some people. 6. Take time to reflect on what you like about the person and express gratitude and appreciation for their positive qualities and supportive behaviors. When you are spending time with them, give them the gift of your attention to communicate that you value their companionship. Keep in mind that the relationship you wish to rekindle may not turn out as you hope it will. Regardless of the outcome, you were courageous in going after something you wanted. Be kind to yourself by acknowledging and appreciating your own efforts. Making new friends. As you know, friendship is essential to our overall health and happiness, but making friends as an adult is not an easy feat. Here's a list of strategies for meeting new people. Intentionally place yourself in environments where like-minded people gather. If your faith is important to you, join a congregation or group. If health and wellness are priorities in your life, join your local gym, yoga studio, or YMCA. If you love to read, attend an upcoming event at your local bookstore. Do a little research to find out where people who have similar interests hang out and get involved. Don't underestimate small talk. Small talk allows you to get acquainted with people you do not know very well. Because the topics are less personal, it is a low risk, high reward situation. Some topics you consider include weather, work, career interests, movies you've seen or books you've read, favorite foods, and observations about recent changes in your neighborhood. Say yes to social invitations. You never know who you might meet at an after work party happy hour, or weekend barbecue. Get to know your coworkers outside of work. Organizing a gathering of your colleagues outside of typical working hours. Go to local events in your community. Grab or Google the local newspaper and explore the lifestyle section or events calendar. Try a new hobby. Think back to what you liked to do as a child. Maybe you liked to dance or draw. Whether your childhood passion was, Whatever your childhood passion was, find a class you can take that relates to it. Not only will you be doing something you enjoy, you'll meet new people who enjoy it too. Regardless of which strategies you try to make, Regardless of which strategies you try to make new friends, you'll need to risk some discomfort. Open yourself up to the endless possibilities that could unfold if you're willing to take even the smallest step outside your comfort zone. Grow. Implementing your social self-care plan can be rewarding, but you might run into challenges along the way. These will come in two main forms: mental roadblocks and conflict. The following exercises will help you meet these challenges and set up an accountability plan, increasing your chances of making your social self-care vision a reality. Often, when we dare to jump outside your comfort zone and try something new, the greatest barrier can be our own mind. Worry, anxiety, and fear show up, creating mental roadblocks between us and our goals. If we're not careful, these thoughts can keep us from meaningful and fulfilling social lives. The good news is, you can choose to pursue your social self-care vision despite these negative feelings. You do not have to wait for them to go away before you take action. Your fear, anxiety, and worry are temporary thoughts and feelings based on judgments and predictions about the future. But these judgments and predictions are not always accurate. Social predictions and mental roadblocks. Forecasters use the science of meteorology, satellites, and computer programs to predict what the weather will be like each day. Although these predictions are sometimes correct, they can go very wrong. In fact, weather forecasts that attempt to predict the weather at 10 or more days out are accurate only 50% of the time. Read that again. Weather forecasts that attempt to predict the weather at 10 or more days out are accurate only 50% of the time. That's about a week and a half. This is due in large part to the constant changing nature of the world's atmosphere. Similarly, your anxiety, worry, and fears try to predict the future, but they do so with even less accuracy than weather forecasters. Grab your notebook, create a grid, and explore the accuracy of these feelings as shown in this example. Guys, here, one column, predictions my worry, fears, and anxiety have made about relationships and social situations in the past. Next column, approximately how many times has my mind made this negative prediction in the last week? Next column, how many times has the prediction been accurate? So the first example they have here is, they're going to think I'm stupid. Under predictions, my worries, fears, and anxieties have made about relationships and social situations in the past. And under the second column, they have 25 times in the last week. And then under how many times has the prediction been accurate? 0. No one has ever said, I'm stupid, even when they disagreed with me. Next one, I can't show weaknesses in relationships. I have to be strong. If I allow myself to be vulnerable and tell people that I sometimes struggle with feeling sad or anxious, they'll reject me. Approximately how many times has my maid made this negative prediction in last week? 15, as an example. How many times has the prediction been accurate? 0. My vulnerability in relationships has actually helped others feel comfortable opening up to me. So that's an example from the book here. Page 29. The Self-Care Prescription by Robyn L. Gobin, PhD. If you compare the number of times your mind has made a negative social prediction to the number of times it actually occurred, you might discover that your mind is often incorrect. How can you use this information to motivate yourself to take a social leap of faith, even faith when your worry, anxiety, and fear are begging you not to? A useful strategy can be to use an affirmation to remind yourself that your mind is not always right. Here are some examples of affirmations. I will not let the fears of my mind allow my social self-care to fall behind. This prediction won't cause me to stray away from my social conviction. I won't let my worries cause me to abandon my social self-care journey. My weather forecast says it's going to be dark and stormy. Never mind the weather. I'm taking this journey. How to handle conflict in relationships. Conflict is inevitable in all relationships. While we likely have a number of overlapping interests and perspectives with our partners, family, and friends, there are topics we simply do not agree on, and there will always be aspects of each other's personality that are irritating or off-putting. Contrary to what many of us are taught, disagreements and conflicts are not bad. In fact, if we handle them correctly, they can help us feel more connected to one another. The determining factor of whether conflict was helpful or harmful has helpful or harmful effects is the quality of the communication that surrounds the conflict. Here are some tips for handling conflict in productive, healthy ways. Number 1, listen. Really make an effort to hear and understand the other person's perspective. Number 2, express yourself. Clearly and truthfully communicate your thoughts and feelings on the conflict. Use I statements to signal ownership of your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Ask for what you need. What do you need to resolve the issues and continue in this relationship? 4, acknowledge the other person's feelings. Try to see the other person's perspective and understand how they feel in the situation. Number 5, be kind. Be careful not to yell, insult, or call the other person names or insult the other person's character. Number 6, take a break if needed. When things get too heated or it is clear that the conversation is not productive, take a break. Be sure to schedule a time to revisit and resolve the issue. Avoid defensiveness. Remember, it takes two to have an argument. Be willing to take responsibility for your role in the incident and apologize. Come to the resolution and repair emotional harm. Come to a clear understanding of what each person is willing to do differently to prevent a similar incident from moving forward. Repair any emotional harm that was caused during the conflict to prevent resentment from setting in. Your commitment to social self-care. Now it's time to make a commitment to live a life that's consistent with your social self-care vision. These steps will guide you towards shaping your relationships and social life around your values. Use your notebook to complete these steps. Select an aspect of social self-care that you would like to focus on initially. Social needs, engage, play, unwind, nurture, or grow. 2, set a goal consistent with your values that's realistic given your schedule. 3, cope ahead of time. Think about what could get in the way of pursuing your goal. For example, feeling unmotivated, an unexpected illness, or other responsibilities seem more pressing. What are some ways you can overcome these roadblocks? 4. Take action towards your goal. Acknowledge your efforts. Number 5. You are you're living out your values, and this is something to be celebrated. Number 6. In your notebook, take note of how the process of pursuing your goal went. What did you do that was effective and helped you achieve your goal? What barriers came up? Did you meet those barriers in an effective way? What might you do differently next time? Once you've completed these steps, start again at step 1. Pick a time interval that's most appropriate for you, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and challenge yourself to engage in a behavior that supports your intention to prioritize self-care, prioritize social self-care. It could be as simple as playing with your dog after work, or as elaborate as planning a gathering for a group of friends. There are no limits here. Let your creativity run wild. The primary goal is to get in the habit of consistently doing something for yourself in the domain of social self-care. Remember to be flexible along the way. Life happens. Things don't always turn out as planned. Be kind to yourself when you get off track with your social self-care. You are doing the best you can. Commit to begin again. Chapter highlights. Social self-care is nurturing your need for connection with other people. It involves taking care of existing relationships and friendships, creating new connections, and establishing boundaries in relationships with others. Your social self-care vision is a one-sentence declaration of the type of social self-care you desire. A vision helps you get clear about what you want your social self-care to look like, and it can serve as a guide for the decisions you will make in the future. When you are calm and in the moment, you're in a much better position to listen to what your body needs and wants, and you're poised to make choices that align with your social self-care vision. To stay healthy and connected, relationships need ongoing maintenance. This involves spending quality time together, engaging in activities that promote positive feelings toward one another, and expressing gratitude for appreciated actions and qualities. You can overcome challenges in your social self-care journey by acknowledging fears, anxieties, and worries for what they are, being accountable, and using effective communication during conflict. Robyn L. Gobin, PhD, The Self-Care Prescription, Powerful Solutions to Manage Stress, Reduce Anxiety, and Increase Well-Being. Awesome book. Thanks for listening.